Welcome back to Sibona Konke podcast. Today we are joined by Jeremiah. He's from Basadi, Agribusiness. I've known the guy for a long time now. I've been with him for a couple of times and he's been in the business, in the agriculture business for a long time. Welcome, Jeremiah.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ritchie.
Nice to see you again. It's been a while, eh?
Yeah, it's been quite a while, yes.
Where have you been hiding now? Are you busy with other projects or what's happening in your life now?
So at the moment, we're busy with rabbit production, but it's mostly been the agro-processing space in poultry, abattoirs.
Yeah.
So I think the last time we met, we were busy with ducks.
Ducks, yeah.
Yes, and then now we're busy with rabbits. So yeah, the key function that I've been a part of is obviously the meat inspection. Abattoir management is something that came and kept everything that I knew.
Yeah.
But yeah, meat inspection is the most key component of what we've been busy with in what we're doing.
So maybe to the viewers now who are watching the podcast, maybe you can tell us why is it important to inspect meat?
So I think one of the key things, especially now that as time has progressed, we have moved from the subsistence way of farming to commercial.
Yeah.
There's been quite a number of things that are involved, obviously, like the diseases and things like that that come up, obviously, with mass production of all the things that we are producing. So there's obviously been need for us to inspect to ensure that there is safety of meat before we can actually deliver it to the final consumers. So I think the most important thing as to why we inspect the meat is to ensure that the product that we produce, whichever abattoir it is, because we have various abattoirs. We have got the red meat abattoir, the poultry abattoirs, the crocodile abattoirs, we have the game meat abattoirs, and then obviously the ostrich. So I think the most important thing is that there has to be what we call meat inspectors or meat examiners that basically evaluate the meat. So basically look at the meat that we're producing from when it is still a live animal up to the point where we produce it to be meat, to ensure that we are not giving people meat that is either
Poisonous,
any condition, poisonous, diseases or any conditions that might not be suitable for human consumption. Because remember, we are feeding the general public. There are also kids, there's the elderly, there's the sickly. So we want to ensure that the meat that we are producing is suitable for all. So we basically inspect the meat. So I've been working heavily with the poultry industry, the poultry abattoirs. So basically with the meat inspection there, so obviously when we start our processes, we receive the live animals, whether it be chickens, ducks, quails, rabbits. We basically receive them, and then we do what we call first the ante-mortem inspection. So ante-mortem before they die. So it's just to ensure that the animal as it comes, there is no signs that it's sickly. So obviously you would know from the poultry chicken background.
In the form
yes,
of
yes,
farmer that
yes,
you've been medicating
exactly.
the chicken with something.
Exactly. So then there's that health declaration. So with every abattoir, when we receive the animals, there's a health declaration from the farmer to ensure that, okay, if he was using any medication, they have observed the withdrawal periods of the medicine, because we know that obviously with quite a number of animals, we have to administer quite a number of medicines to ensure that they are they grow well, they're not sick. So we need to ensure that the farmer declares that, okay, I've used this kind of medicine, and then the withdrawal period was, let's say, maybe 7 days, and we have
so basically you cannot medicate a chicken today and then slaughter it tomorrow.
Definitely not, because then inside the system of the chicken, those chemicals are still in there. So by the time that product goes out to the public, it's not just only the poultry meat, it's actually got some chemical components in there that can actually harm a person, because that's where you find a lot of these issues of food poisoning and things like that. It comes from that. So we as the inspectors, there's obviously a first inspection point, which is the ante-mortem. Before they die, the farmer declares, okay, I've used this, or I've not used anything at all. And then from there we inspect the chicken. So like there's also signs like you would see like with Newcastle disease that is visible before the chicken even dies while you're looking at them. Does it have diarrhea and things like that? So with quite a number of poultry or with quite a number of animals before they come into slaughter, there's that antemortem inspector that ensures that the animal, while it's still alive, it doesn't have visible conditions or diseases that cannot be allowed into the abattoir. So once it has passed that, then it goes into the slaughtering process, which is basically now your stunning process. So stunning is basically just a way to, before slaughtering or before throat slitting, it's just basically to make the animal unconscious. Yes, and that's
like it's in a theater.
Yes, it's in a theater. So before we can operate you, we put you under anesthetic. Yes, so it's basically now unconscious, and then the throat slitting can take place. This is just obviously a humane way of slaughtering, and then also SPCA regulates that. If maybe people report that at this particular abattoir, this is how they are slaughtering, they are not observing this, they can, if they are very brutal, then SPCA can intervene, and then they can stop the slaughtering. They have that mandate to stop and then actually investigate what you are doing. So even though they're actually going to be killed or slaughtered,
but there's a way of killing them.
There's got to be a proper way of doing it. We can't just butcher them. So that's the reason why. So that is also part of inspection. Because even if the animal itself...
Let me interrupt you. So if for example now I bring chickens to the abattoir, there must be a meat inspector. So can an abattoir slaughter a chicken without the inspector there?
No, it's not possible. Because how can we guarantee that the meat that is produced
I know some abattoirs that does that without meat inspectors. But anyway, we're not here to name and shame people. So continue the process.
So I think also with regards to that, any farmer that wants a reputation or has a brand and they want to ensure that their reputation is intact, they have to ensure things like that when they come to a facility, because obviously a lot of abattoirs advertise that we are slaughtering. When you get there, have you been given a health declaration? If not, then ask. How do you know
there's something missing?
How do you know my chickens are okay? Maybe they have a gomboro, or maybe
but then let's say now I'm a chicken farmer, then I get that health declaration form and I lie.
So remember, this is now the first part of the slaughtering. So
that's
so if the inspector themselves trust you to write the truth and you don't, remember, if anything comes back, so let's say for example now this product has gone out, it has reached the hands of maybe and then a person buys that product. First of all, what happens is that they go to the doctor, and then the doctor says, no, maybe this chicken had salmonella or such a problem or an issue, and therefore this is what has made you sick. Then those people now decide to take legal action against you. So then it's a chain. That's why even with every abattoir, they have to have a quality management or hygiene management system which accounts for what has been taking place until the product reaches the consumer. There is accountability. That's where our government inspectors come in, because they are the custodians of the Meat Safety Act. So they are the ones that inspect all these abattoirs to ensure that, number one, they are inspectors there to inspect these products.
Bribe them.
Yes, that is also something that you can do. But remember now, when now it comes to accountability, somebody is now ill, or in worst case scenario has died. If you can recall, even with that situation that happened in Limpopo, where they had to recall certain products, So then now the legal action has been taken. Or even if there's no legal action, but then obviously the communities are saying, okay, this product is making us sick. What is happening here? Then obviously government or
investigations.
There has to be investigations. Then they come and say, okay, let's trace what is going on with this product. Where was this product purchased? Then we say, okay, it was purchased in Brakpan, Pick and Pay. That's the first call. Then the inspectors go to Pick and Pay. Okay. So from the Brakpan Pick and Pay, the client comes with a receipt as proof of having purchased the product in Pick and Pay.
Yeah.
So like we are giving an example, let's say it's in Brakpan.
Yeah.
Then the government inspectors come there and say, okay, Pick and Pay Brakpan, we want to see your receipts, obviously, or your purchase orders and things like that from this company.
Yeah.
We want to find out where you got this product from. Then they obviously take everything that was Basadi Agribusiness product on the shelf. They remove it and then they put it on hold.
Yeah.
They take samples because they want to ensure that, okay, if it was a certain batch, then this is part of that batch. We want to test it.
Yeah.
They take samples and then they take it from there. Okay, we received this product from this Basadi Agribusiness Abattoir. Then they say, okay, is it registered? Is it licensed? They check their records. Yes. Who is the inspector, the government inspector from that facility? They contact them, they go with them there. Because remember, Pick and Pay can't account for this product as far as integrity. Because it was in the shelf, they maintained the temperatures and things like that. So they are not liable now. They are now going to the abattoir. They come to the abattoir and then the first thing they get there, can we see records of the 8th of May, 2023?
Batch number so and so.
Yes. Then we start tracing it from the dispatch.
Yeah.
What was the temperature of that day? We need to see the temperature records. We need to see the temperature records of the truck that delivered. We trace it all the way back.
Yeah.
From the delivery truck into the dispatch bay, there was obviously, was there any problem with the machinery, with the fridges? They trace it back all the way back to that health declaration when the chickens were delivered.
Where they which farm
they came from. Then we find that, oh, okay, Basadi Agribusiness is a poultry abattoir, but then they don't have chickens of their own, for example.
Yeah.
They were supplied by Sibone Konge Chicken Farm. It's based in Niger.
Yeah.
Okay, where's their health declaration?
Exactly.
Then we go there, they say no. There was no chemicals that were administered. They were just on maybe stress pack and so forth on the first week. There was no problem. They leave the abattoir, they come to Niger, to your farm. Then they say, we want to see records. They get there, it's just Tina Ice no records. That's where the problem starts.
You know, I'm glad you are touching that now, because I always tell my students that record keeping is very important.
Very, very
because
important.
if you don't keep your records, all these things now, if the inspectors goes as far back as to the farmer, and then you don't have records.
Let's say the actual problem is at the abattoir.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example, like you were talking about bribery, because there's a lot of food fraud, there's a lot of these aspects that take place.
Yeah.
But people who are now well versed with the industry, maybe my truck was not working. And then I said, oh no, but it's cold today, just deliver. And then that's where maybe the food chain and the temperature integrity was broken. But because then I know the industry, I know what we can do, we want to get our stock out. We just say, no, it was -5, the drive. But then the unfortunate thing is that at your farm, you have no records. So then the problem is now on you. So then now, you are the one behind bars.
For sure.
And yet the problem was mine.
Because that's exactly what I always tell my students, that we can say we can offer them the market.
Yes.
But we cannot go and take your chickens. Now, let's say, for example, you come for training. We train you, and then you go, and then you do your chickens, and then you expect us to come and buy your chickens. Then when I come to your farm, you don't do things according to... There are no records. If I take those chickens now, I'll be the one who'll be in trouble. I'll be liable, because if there's something now happens at the supermarket, whatever, they come back to as far as me.
Exactly.
Then I'll be the one who'll be in trouble.
It was liable, because like looking back, I also attended your training on chickens. So if now you have trained me, you have mentored me for 12 months, and then you have given me all the tools, then you say, no, but I have now penetrated the market. I can assist you. So you grow the birds and let's get them slaughtered here, and then I can approach Pick and Pay Brakpan because I know them. Now, you have taught me, keep records, keep this. I don't.
You don't.
Then now, you take the product, having trust in me that I know everything you have taught me.
Yeah.
Then this happens.
Yeah.
Then when you come back, then you say, okay, these are my records.
Yeah.
I've got a contract with this man to supply me with this.
Yeah.
Then now the blame goes to, okay, when did you take the chickens from this farm?
Yeah.
Then we go on that farm.
Yeah.
Then you say, which house was it?
Exactly. Yeah.
How long were
How
the
long
birds
were they,
were
yeah.
there? What did you administer? What all those questions
What
now will be
food
on the
did they
table.
eat?
Yes.
Mm.
Where did you buy
Did
it?
you buy
Where are
it?
the receipts?
Mm.
Because
Everything.
maybe there was a problem with the feed.
Maybe the feed was a problem.
Then now
But
you
they
have
have
no
to go
record.
back as far as Bonagonke feed production now.
We want to. Where did you get the
Where
chicks
did you
from?
get the soya from?
Exactly. Where did you get the soya?
Yeah, exactly.
You see, so when it comes to that now, the person without the records is the person who's behind bars.
Exactly.
So the record keeping is not only just for that, but it's also for yourself. It's a management system.
Yeah.
How do you account for things that you have no record of? You don't keep the receipts. You don't know when you delivered at the abattoir. How do you account for that?
It's loction farming.
But when, at the end of the day, when we see a lot of our brothers and sisters not doing well in farming and say, no, it's not for us.
Yeah.
This is where they get it wrong. If you have no accountability, because accountability is not only just for, no, let me protect myself from legal action, because if I do it right, I've got the records. What about accountability in terms of money?
Before we run out of time, let's touch on. I wanted to ask something about this inspection because you're a meat inspector.
Yes.
The way or the procedure that you use to inspect, let's say for example rabbit, chickens, or coil or whatever, is it the same or it differs per?
So with each and every species of poultry, there's different things that we look at. But obviously, like let's say for chickens, and the other birds, because let's say for example, rabbit is classified currently in South Africa as poultry, but then it's got no wings. So when we are now looking at, let's say, what we would classify as an A grade, then let's say we would say it doesn't have blood spots. The wings are not damaged. They have no blood like those red wing tips, but then we can't use that same method for the rabbit. It doesn't have the wing. So we have got just different ways of looking at that. But then I think the basic thing is that obviously when the slaughtering process in its entirety has been done correctly, that actual chicken or that actual poultry must be an A grade. It must be an A grade.
Let's touch on rabbits.
Yes.
Maybe there's someone at home who's like, oh, maybe start rabbit farming or whatever, because now you are busy with rabbits, right?
Yes.
Maybe tell us just a brief summary of rabbit farming. Is the market number one?
Yes.
Is the market available for rabbits? Number two, with chickens, we normally grow chickens up to 6 weeks.
Yes.
And then maybe they're about 2 kgs, and then we slaughter them, get about 1.6 kg. They lose about 30% of their weight after slaughter.
Yes.
So with rabbits, maybe just educate us like 2 minutes.
Okay.
The market, how many weeks do you have to grow them, and maybe what type of breed can one go? Because like with chicken, there's Ross Grove 308, which is So and then in terms of feed, what type of feed maybe can you feed a rabbit to be commercial?
Yes. So I think with the rabbit farming, it's something that is now actually on the market trying to compete with chicken. I think also because a lot of people are now looking at healthier alternatives. A rabbit is much healthier, low in cholesterol.
Than chicken?
Yes, very low in cholesterol, very lean. So what's happening is that now a lot of people have started to gain interest in rabbit farming. The market is there. There is a lot of export opportunities. There's also a lot of growing interest locally in South Africa. Like I was saying, at this current stage, we are doing plus minus 4 tons a month of rabbit meat. So there's quite a huge market. It's classified in different categories. It can be a pet food. It can be also for your human consumption. But the market is there. It's growing locally and also export. So when we go to the farming side, the good thing is that unlike chickens, we don't have to talk of hatcheries. We don't have to visit any hatchery every 6 weeks because then they reproduce. But the process itself currently, it takes between 11 to 14 weeks, at most 12, I think is the average 12 weeks to feed them, for them to reach a target slaughter weight of around between 2.4 to 2.6. And then unlike the chicken, which we are talking about 30%,
30.
yes, we are looking at 50% because then they have hinds. The skin, then we have to de-skin, we have to skin them, and then obviously the offals, especially the intestines. Unlike the chickens, the intestines, people consume that. People don't really consume the intestines of the rabbits.
What do you do with them? Throw them away?
Currently, at the moment, we just classify them as condemns and then we throw them away. So 50% goes out. So if we are looking at around 2.6, we are looking at a 1.3 slaughtered weight, which is a good weight. It's not small, it's not big. And then I think depending on what your market which you're going for, if you're looking at fryers, we're looking at between 1.1 to 1.23 there. If we're looking for the so if you're looking at the breed as well, we are looking at the New Zealand whites. Those are the best for meat production commercially. So basically that's the breed that you would go for, but we're looking at plus minus 12 weeks if you're feeding them the rabbit pellets that are currently on the market. Yes.
So the feed for rabbit and chicken doesn't differ that much, right?
It doesn't really differ that much. So currently on the market now, we're looking at rabbit pellets. But I think if we are to compete with the chicken, we need to really spend more time in our research on the feed. Because currently the feed that is there, if we are talking about 12 weeks, that's really too long. It's a long period of time. That's double the time it takes for the chicken. So that's where the issue is now, to compete with the chicken.
And how much is a rabbit per kg currently?
Currently, we are looking at anything between 75 to 90.
Per kilo?
Yes, per kilo. So it's also more profitable. But then I think one of the key things is that to try and compete with the chicken, we need to try and get our production costs low so that we can sell it for as close to the chicken as possible, so we can now sell the health benefits to say, okay, if the chicken is, let's say a 2 kg braai pack now is going for 100 rand, and then we have a 2 kg chicken here, a rabbit. Number one, it's not IQF. The chicken is IQF. It's been injected with brine, and that's not as healthy as lean meat, low cholesterol.
So rabbit can't be injected with brine?
You can, but then we don't. You see, so this is almost like, yes, we definitely can. You see, brine is just a preservative, so you can inject anything. You can inject anything. Exactly. So at the end of the day, we are currently just producing these rabbits.
So they are fresh?
Fresh. No medication. And then we also don't inject them. So and besides the health benefits of a rabbit itself. So at the end of the day, we want to put that on the table to say, okay, if a 2 kg of chicken is costing 100 rand and there's a 2 kg of rabbit which is costing, even if we say 100 rand as well, the people should be able to opt for a rabbit because it's
I don't think it can get to the price of a chicken if you're looking at the number of weeks you're growing a chicken versus the number of weeks you're growing a rabbit.
Exactly.
Unless if you be feeding your rabbit grass and maybe in lettuce and stuff, maybe, but it won't grow as much.
It definitely won't. So if you can look at the rabbit, the chicken, a lot of genetics and a lot of research has been put into the feed and then the actual breed itself, like you're speaking about the Ross 308. So there isn't enough research at this stage, I believe, that has been able to advance that certain thing to a point where we can say we can compete with chicken in terms of the weeks it takes to get the slaughtered weight and the feed itself. So because the feed is what makes the animal. So if the feed is not as good, then obviously they need to take longer.
Watch the space. I'm gonna buy 2 rabbits and farm them and do research. I like experimenting.
Exactly.
And then next time I'll be calling you on this podcast and educating you. I'll be educating you now about what feed you can use. I'll be making maybe 5 different type of feed. And maybe feed those rabbits and see which one works
the best.
Because most of our people, black people especially, we don't farm for commercial purposes.
No.
And we don't spend time on researching and making sure which type of feed can you feed your animal to grow as quick because we are commercial. We're not farming for fun. We need to push weight.
Exactly. We need to push weight and in a short space of time and get the product to the market at the lowest possible cost. Then it becomes very viable. But to be quite honest, the market is there. I think a bit of more research has to be put in the feed so that we can try and reduce the time frame it takes for a rabbit to reach the slaughtered weight, and also it has to be cheaper as well. Because it doesn't help to say now a rabbit we can now, maybe it can take now 6 to 8 weeks, but the feed, when you look at the components in there, cost 10 times that of a chicken, and then it still doesn't make sense.
I think we've taken too long, and I think we still have a lot to talk about. Maybe we'll have another podcast now, part two, touching on ducks and koi.
Yes,
because I think people at home would agree that we still need to talk more about this meat inspection thing, because it's very important.
Very, very important, because at the end of the day, if you don't take particular attention to the meat inspection, then people are basically eating everything. You know, in the public domain, a lot of people say, no, we don't like these imports, and then that's also another thing.
People don't understand that sometimes you'll be eating chicken, and then your chicken tastes like fish.
Exactly.
Because of what you feed your chicken.
Exactly.
So it's also important of what people feed their animals.
And the thing is that also with a lot of imports, we don't know the regulation of their meat inspection side. We don't know them.
Yeah, we don't know.
We don't. If then we now have an agreement with them, they just send whatever they send.
They're dumping it.
Exactly. So at the end of the day, we know what our Meat Safety Acts, we know what they say is right and what they say is wrong. So it's easy to know exactly what the final consumer locally is eating.
So if someone wants your service in the meat inspection space, because there's someone who'll be watching now, maybe is owning a big abattoir, and they say, actually, I need that guy. He knows his story and stuff. Where can they get you? Are you on social media?
So currently, yes, we are on social media, Basadi Agribusiness. We are on Instagram at Basadi Agribusiness, and Facebook as well. It's Basadi Agribusiness. Personally, they can find me also on social media. On Instagram, it's at Jeremiah Jothams. And then on Facebook, it's also Jeremiah Jothams. I think those are the social media platforms they can get us on.
Thank you very much for watching. It was a very educational and informative chat with Jeremiah Jothams. Please join the training on the 26th of May. There's still space available. The training will be in Brakpan, which is in Johannesburg, east of Joburg, not far from Carnival City. So see you there on the 26th. If you want to join, send us the email, whatever. Then we can email you the form or WhatsApp you the form, and then we'll be glad to see you. Thank you very much.